Oh, hey. What are you guys doing here? What do you mean I've been gone for a couple days? You came looking for me. I've clearly been in this room the whole time. It's fine. I'm here. I had important things to do. That's why I couldn't film. Really. I mean, eating glorified Dunkaroos, aka animal crackers and Hershey spreads, that was important. Browsing old videos on YouTube from people I really admire, that was important too. Spending ridiculous amounts of time on Twitter, that was important, guys. I really need to hear about everything that everybody does in their lives, even when it's just scratching their butt. It's really important. That's why I have to be on Twitter 100%, 24/7. Pretty sure I have a Twitter message on my phone right now. It's rough. Excuse me. Still tastes like donuts from this morning. Breakfast of champions. You know, I had to play a lot of Final Fantasy 12 because I'm their only fan, and if I don't support them, nobody's gonna. Do you ever hear anybody talk about Final Fantasy 12? Not in a good way. So I had to be hunting my marks and, you know, grinding up for my licenses. It's important. Okay, anyway, on to the real reason I wasn't around. Basically, that video that I just, uploaded a couple days ago was kind of big, and I thought that you guys kind of needed a break from my face, because that was a really long video. I had fun making it, and I would honestly have fun talking at you guys for an hour, but not a lot of people want to sit through that. So thank you to the 2 people who did. It's really awesome of you. To be honest, we'll probably do more stuff like that, but there'll be more practice involved, more editing involved, because as much as, you know, we love talking at you, sitting through something that isn't like a gameplay walkthrough or something is kind of boring, so I understand that. I really want to start taking this YouTube thing a lot more seriously. Editing, seeing what does and doesn't work, stuff like that. I mean, what you're watching right now is actually the second time of me making this video because I didn't like the framing in the first one, so I threw out 13 minutes of footage because I didn't like that you could see more morals and stuff. So I added another book to my fake tripod that is a chair and 4 books. But, you know, after filming with his tripod, I'm really itching for one. I really want one. Because, you can adjust it to do so many things, and it makes me real happy. I can put it anywhere, whereas right now I've got this chair balanced on the table that I normally have in the middle of the room with books on it, so it's not much adjusting, and you only get one rigid angle, so I have to make sure I have the camera pointed right. And then, of course, I have the kitchen chair still, because I kind of think it's comfortable to film in front of, since I'm filming in front of my bed all the time. And I'm quite aware that the sunset is making my face look entirely white over here. Which is funny because I have a curtain up and it's actually kind of dark in this room. It is amazing what this camera can pick up and not pick up. Because if I turn on the unnatural lights right now to try to put more light into this room, the entire thing would just turn orange. We've gone into my settings in my camera and tried what we can, but it just won't listen. His camera films way better, and I'm pretty sure it's actually a cheaper camera. They sigh. So on my list, besides a tripod, is definitely going to have to be a new camera. I did just get a brand new job that is definitely going to give me more hours than the last one, and I've worked at this particular job before, so I know that the money is going to be decent. So these are things I can save up for and really start taking YouTube seriously, because I really want to. I've been talking at you for a couple minutes now, and I still haven't actually told you what this video is about. I've decided to talk about Azeroth choppers with you guys. So kind of a review, kind of just my thoughts, you know, so it's kind of vloggy. Nothing major, because I don't feel like I'm giving it a real strict review, because I just really want to talk about it. So When everybody else was into it, watching it and everything else, while I was kind of intrigued, I kind of just kept putting it off, and then eventually the show ended, and I was like, oh, okay, Horde Bike won, that's cool. That was everything I wanted. So eventually, like a week, maybe a week and a half after it was over, I was like, I need something to watch while I draw. So I was like, I'll watch Azeroth Choppers, and I watched it all in one sitting. And, yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm not much into, like, the bike designing stuff, and I think that World of Warcraft already has a ton of bikes already, so I'm not really sure what the point of this was, but it was entertaining, so, I watched some of, like, American Choppers, which I think is where Paul Jr. is from. I also watched OCC, Orange County Choppers. Watched a couple episodes of both because my dad was into it. You know, it's pretty cool watching designs come to life. That's a thing that I really love, is designing stuff and watching it come to life, and just the overall process is really fun. So, you know, it was up my alley in certain ways because I'm a creative person. Of course, you know, I'm glad that Horde Bike won. I'm Horde all the way. But the problem is that even Alliance people who are very, like, strict Alliance, were voting for the Horde Bike. And, I guess that's kind of upsetting to me because Alliance Bike kind of dropped the ball. And I guess I'm just going to talk about my thoughts on the Alliance Bike and my thoughts on the Horde Bike. Basically, Alliance Bike, a lot of people said it looked insectile. And when it was first coming together, I saw that. I totally did. But I think that they definitely did make their goal of making it look like shiny armor that was, you know, coming right off a knight's clothes and stuff. Like, I really did see that. What I didn't like is when they talked about making the swords, I was hoping that they would actually use, like, Varian's sword. I mean, it's pretty detailed, but you could have found something that was relatively similar. All they did was use kind of, like, generic-y stuff, and that made me go, it would have been so much cooler if it was either less generic swords or something else Alliance-related. They could have done something else. The other thing that I think would have been really great is how they were showing, like, how the boats have, like, the eagle heads and the bird heads and, like, all these massive heads at the front of them. And honestly, like, they should have incorporated that onto the bike. It would have been hella detailed. They would have had to find a way to simplify it. But if they could have put, like, one of those eagle bird heads at the front of their bike, they stood a better chance of winning. Because if you look at the Horde Bike, look how much they incorporated it in. They used woodworking to make the tusks and add woodworking elements into it. They made the seat look like a leather seat that you would see, like, in any, like, house or on any type of, like, equipment that Horde would use. They added chains, which are pretty well Horde as well. And they were able to incorporate a lot more red, whereas the Alliance Bike didn't really have much, if any, blue. Like, the Horde Bike really brought the essence of everything, and I mean, it even had, like, the arm guards with the spikes on it. They were able to make that real, which was so badass. Like, that bike is amazing. And I don't even like motorcycles. I don't. But I loved that bike. Loved it. Like, I cried the first time I saw it. Cried. People make fun of me and tell me that it's not that hard to make me cry. It's okay. Liquid pride, right? But honestly, like, the Alliance Bike didn't add enough Alliance in itself. Like, if it had, it would have stood a better chance of winning. It might have even been hard for me to choose, even though clearly I didn't vote. You know, it's fine. And you could also consider that Horde only had 2 people because the third person left, which is even more awesome that they got this bike done and everything. But I do like that Paul was so dedicated to really keeping both factions alive and stuff, and I'm happy that they actually got to play WoW, you know, in the actual, like, area. Like, they were all playing against each other and stuff, and it's clear that they had warlords of Draenor already because they were all level 90. They got their level 90 boosts because they were doing level 90 dungeons. At least one of them was. Pretty sure what I saw in there was the brewery. Pretty sure it was the brewery. And I'm pretty proud of myself for noticing that because there's times where people will go through dungeons and like I'm watching them and I don't know what they're doing. I'm pretty proud that I was like, I know that place. Yeah. From the opening, I had gotten the impression that the Horde and Alliance teams that were over on Blizzard were going to be working more, like, intimately with the teams, like, that they were basically going to be designing the bikes and seeing if the teams that were building the bikes could build what they designed. That was what I was thinking was going to happen, because it would have been really awesome to see more of Samwise Didier, because he's a man, he's so interesting, but I guess that was not how they were planning to set it up, but it would have been cool. I think that Blizzard working more intimately with them would have been more interesting. And while it was only 5.5 weeks, I see why they did that, like, because more concise show, it'll keep the pressure on to work fast because it was almost impossible deadlines. It'll make less shows so that way it'll keep the fans more focused. But to be honest, I'm not kind of fan that would sit through 10.5 weeks instead of 5.5 weeks. I'm the kind of fan that would enjoy episodes that are half an hour to an hour long. I know that's not most fans, but that's me. I would actually enjoy that. 10 minutes was good. They kept it concise, they kept it focused, and maybe that's good for my ADD. It probably is. But let's be honest. It's probably better for my ADD, but just saying that if it were longer, I still would have watched it because I enjoy the design process. I got hyped about, you know, seeing WoW again because I haven't had the chance to play for a while. I get burned out very quickly because I just dive in head on and just do so many things that I get burned out, like after 2 months and I have to take a break. But it got me pumped again, and I don't know, I'm actually really excited to have that bike. I will probably, when they put it into the game, I don't know what they're doing with it, if they're doing like engineering or if you just buy it or what, but I will definitely acquire that bike, however they're doing it. Obviously I have no clue, nor did I look it up, but those are basically my thoughts. Anything else is going to be me rambling, and I'm sure that you don't need that in your life today, So my dad's mowing the lawn. Don't know if you can hear that, but he is. I'm gonna go now. Hope you guys have a great day. And I will talk to you soon. With who knows what, maybe a top 5, but you've gotten plenty of those, haven't you? So, I don't know yet. But I will come up with something. Okay? Have a great day. I have the Sonic hat on. Okay, bye.